Hi guys, hope you're having a great Monday at the new school and that you've had a great day so far. Sorry that I'm not there with you. I am driving home from Disney, so I don't know how much more fun I'm having. Your learning target for today, which, sorry about the scribble, there was tape and then it got just chaos. It says, I can identify similarity transformations. I want you to be on page 49 and we're going to talk about dilations, which I know you all are thinking, your eyeballs get dilated. So funny. So go to this page. I can identify similarity transformations. So dilations are when your eyes get smaller or bigger. And what we're going to do today is we are going to transform some shapes together. Now, we're going to walk through this first part. And I hate that it messed up the font. This should be so much cuter. Like, this is what it should actually look like, and then we could color it in, whatever. Alright, it says, first find the coordinates of one of the points. So we're going to start with this A right here. And if you need to darken in that this is an A, darken it in. And this is at 0, and it's up about 1.5, 1.5. And then I want to find the coordinates for A prime. Now, this apostrophe is just called A prime. It just means that it's the next A. And now we want to find the ratio between the X coordinates and between the Y coordinates. So the ratio is found divided by dividing the prime coordinate right here by the pre-image coordinate, which is this baby one. This will be the scale factor of the dilation. Now, I want you to write this in this curve if you can. This is very, 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 very important. The scale factor is the same for all points in the shape. I'm going to have to start writing my A's different so that they don't look like 9s or 0s or O's. Okay, now it says find the ratio between the X coordinates and the Y coordinates. Okay, so that means that we're going to divide. And we're going to divide the prime coordinate by the pre-image coordinate. So for A, that would be A prime divided by A. Let's do our X values. That would just be 0 divided by 0, which is 0. That's fine. Okay, now we're going to do 3 divided by 1.5. And what is 3 divided by 1.5? 2. So we just extended everything by 2. That's it. That's all you do. Now, shapes which are dilated, down here at the bottom, shapes which are dilated are similar and have the same or congruent angle measures. So that means that regardless of how we transformed the shape at the top, the angle measures are still the same. And we're going to talk about how we transform things. And it's going to be awesome. And then you're going to do it on your own. So whenever you're doing this, I want you to think about proportions. Think proportions every single time. Think proportions every single time. Because that's the main goal. Is to make a proportion, to figure out your ratio. I'm trying to find a new pen to change colors so I can write this pretty. So think proportions. Alright, so dilations can either be an enlargement, which would make the figure larger, and if it makes the figure larger, that means that it's increasing. So your scale factor wouldn't necessarily be a small, tiny fraction. Or a reduction, which makes the figure smaller. The scale factor describes how much the figure is enlarged or reduced. Now, we have a triangle here that we're going to look at the bottom of our paper. It's not drawn, but we're going to find our missing parts. Okay, so it gives us our x and our x prime. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to divide our x values, we're going to divide our y values, and we're going to find what this ratio is. And we're going to apply it here. Okay, so let's look at our x's. Now, in the directions at the top, it said to divide the prime coordinate, this is x prime, by the original pre-image coordinate. So you're going to do x prime divided by x. Now, I don't have my highlighters, but what I'm going to do is we're going to do 2 divided by 6. And this is going to make a new coordinate, or it's going to make our ratio. Okay? So we have 2 divided by 6. And then we're going to do 3 divided by 9. Now, what do both of those reduce to? And it's not always going to be the same each time, but what do both of these reduce to this time? A third. So your scale factor is a third. Oh, I'm sorry. Scale factor is the same for all points in this list. We just wrote that. I'm a crazy person. Okay? So now what we're going to do, we wrote think proportions. We're going to apply our ratios here. Apply ratio to get your missing pieces. Now we know that our y prime is 1, and we're going to divide that by our ratio so that we can get our original pre-image x coordinate. So you're going to take, I'm going to do that in red. You're going to take this x coordinate, which is 1, and you're going to divide it by what our ratio was right here. So you're going to do 1 divided by 1/3. And what is 1 divided by 1/3? 3. Now we're going to do the same thing here, except this time we don't have our prime. We need our prime. So how could we find that? What do you think we could do? We know that it has to equal a third, right? Let's think. How could we make it equal a third? So we're going to have to make a proportion. We're going to let this be x, we're going to let this be y, and these two must match up. So we know that this x value that we don't know must equal 1/3. So how would we solve that? We would cross multiply. When you cross multiply that, you get 3x equals 15. X equals 5. Now we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to do y divided by 3 equals 1/3. I'm going to come over here and do it. Cross multiply. 3y equals 3. At the bottom now. Sorry, guys. Cross multiply. 3y equals 3. So y equals 1. And this is our red part. This is our green part. And the scale factor for this is 1/3. And that's how you make your new coordinates each time. So, let's walk back through what we did, just to be safe, okay? Now, the first thing we did was we found the coordinates of one of the points. The coordinates for A, which was this one, was 0, 1.5. And the coordinates for A prime were 0, 3. Then we found the ratio between the two, so we did our prime coordinate divided by our pre-image coordinate, which is just your A. So I did A prime divided by A, and I did my X values. And I got 2. Now, what if I wanted to do B? Let's just practice on this one for a minute. This is B. This is B prime. So the coordinates of B right here are -1, -1. And B prime are -2, -2. Now, if I want to find the scale factor of B prime to B, and remember, you do the prime divided by the pre-image. So B prime divided by B. And I want the X. Okay, so this is X and Y of B. So I'm going to do -2 divided by 1 by -1. And I'm going to do -2 divided by -1. Well, what's -2 divided by -1? 2. So my scale factor is 2, just like it was here. Now let's check C and make sure that worked out. And we're just doing this to practice because I'm sure you have questions since I'm not there. So this is C. This is C prime. All right, this is 2, -1. And this is 4, -2. Now, we're trying to find the scale factor. That's what we're trying to find because we want to show how these two images were dilated. So we're going to do the prime divided by the original. And this is X and Y of C. So we're going to do 4 divided by 2 because this is the prime divided by original. And -2 divided by -1. 4 divided by 2 is 2. -2 divided by -1 is 2. We did it right. Now, you can use this to find the scale factor, or you can use it to find your missing pieces. To find your missing parts, your coordinates like we did at the bottom. So here, we found our scale factor. We wrote that the scale factor is the same for all points in the shape. A dilation can make the figure larger or smaller. And down here, we found our ratio to begin with, and then we used it to find all of our other parts. Now, today, you should have 2 sheets after this video. Your first sheet looks like this, and your second sheet is match each graph containing the image and pre-image with its corresponding transformation. Now, it tells you what to do, and it tells you the color to do it in. R is 4. Your ratio is 4. So if you want to find your new images, you're going to use your ratio to find the new piece, to find the new coordinate. Alright, so let's look at number 1. It says draw A, B, C, D with A, B, C as those, and D as those coordinates, and you're going to draw it in black. Alright, so A is 0, 0. B is 0, 1. C is negative 1, 1, and D is negative 1, 0. So we made a box. Okay. And then for step 2, it says dilate A, B, C, D from the origin with your ratio of 4. So are we increasing or decreasing this time? We're increasing. So all you're going to do is you're going to multiply each of these points by 4. So 0, 0, it would stretch it. Well, that wouldn't, 0, 0 wouldn't move anywhere because 0 times 4 is 0. 0 times 4 is 0. Now B, so we multiply this by 4, it does nothing. We multiply this by 4, it's going to become 0, 4. Multiply both coordinates by 4, and we're doing this in yellow. Alright, now let's multiply negative 1, 1 by 4, so that means we're going to go left 4, up 4. And negative 1, 0 by 4, that means we're just going to be at negative 4, 0. Alright, so it says dilate ABCD from the origin with R equals 10, multiply by 10. When it gets to the fractions, just divide by the denominator. I want you to work on this. What are the coordinates of your newly transformed, what are your newly transformed coordinates? Make sure you write those down. Okay? Good luck. May the force be with you. Have a great day. Make good choices. Be good people. See you tomorrow.